Hello students, in today's video lecture I will be talking about the antihypertensive action of beta blockers. As we have studied already, the beta sympathetic nervous system has various kinds of receptors like alpha and beta. There are so many drugs that binds to the only beta receptor and the many drugs that binds to the alpha receptors. Here the relevancy of the antihypertensive action through the receptors involved of the sympathetic nervous system is only the beta receptor. From the beta receptor, as we know, these are divided into two receptors, beta 1 and beta 2 and sometimes beta 3 as well. For the practical purpose and the antihypertensive action, if we block the beta 1 receptors, then we get the antihypertensive actions of beta blockers. So in today's video, I will discuss the various mechanism through the beta 1 blockers that are responsible for antihypertensive actions, and we will discuss the various side effects by using the beta blocker. So starting from the mechanism of action of antihypertensive action of beta blockers, starting from the cardiac myocytes. As we know, in the cardiac myocytes there are G protein coupled receptor beta 1 receptor, which is categorized the family of beta 1 receptor. It is a G protein GPCR family receptors, and once, as here I am representing, this is cardiac myocyte, this black color line is cardiac myocytes, and this cardiac myocytes having this receptor, and this receptor is what? Beta 1 receptor. As we know, the family of this receptor is G protein coupled receptor, and from the G protein coupled receptor, the specific protein of G protein in case of beta 1 is GS. It is a GS protein, stimulatory protein. Once the this is sympathetic nerve, because we know when the bodies activate the sympathetic outflow through the sympathetic nerves or the neurons, the sympathetic neurons releases norepinephrine, and that norepinephrine binds to their specific receptors like alpha and beta. As we are talking the antihypertensive actions, and mainly for the practical purpose, antihypertensive actions through the beta blockers are mainly mediated by beta 1. That's why we are discussing the beta 1 only. Norepinephrine released from the sympathetic nerves binds to the beta 1 receptor present on the cardiac myocytes, and once it is binds to the cardiac myocytes, parallelly there is a protein, there is a group of protein adenylyl cyclase. It is a enzymatic, it has enzymatic activity. This adenylyl cyclase converts ATP into cyclic AMP, and once ATP converted into cyclic AMP, there will be formation of protein kinase A. In same time, there is once when the cyclic AMP formed, the protein kinase A is responsible for activating sarcoplasmic reticulum. As we know, the sarcoplasmic reticulum is responsible for release of stored calcium from the sarcoplasmic reticulum. So as it binds, the calcium releases, and when the calcium releases, this is the calcium that present in the cardiac myocyte cytosol. In same way, the protein kinase A also responsible for activating the calcium channel, and through this L type of calcium channel, the calcium moves from outside to inside. So there are two ways to increase the calcium inside the cardiac myocyte. In one way, protein kinase directly activating sarcoplasmic reticulum, through which the calcium coming in cytosol. In another way, the protein kinase A is responsible for taking calcium from outside to inside due to protein kinase A activity. These two internal mechanism of cardiac myocyte earlier initiated by the binding of sympathetic hormones, or you can say the neurotransmitter, that are responsible for elevating the level of calcium in the cytosol, and that ultimately results in the contraction. So this is the mechanism when the beta 1 is stimulated. Now as our concern for about the beta blocker. So if we use the beta 1 specific blocker, beta 1 specific blocker binds to the beta 1 receptor, and as it binds to the beta 1 receptor, it blocks the activity of this beta 1. It means further beta 1 will not be activated. If it is not activated, then there will not be the elevation of calcium level in the cytosol of the cardiac myocytes. If there will not be elevation, there will not be the more contraction, or we can say if the level of calcium will be less in the firing nodal center like SA node, there will be less firing. Means there will be ultimately decrease in beats because firing will be less, and due to decrease in calcium as well, there is decrease in contracting force. Due to the less beat and less in contraction, there will be decreased cardiac output, and that is responsible for antihypertensive activity. In the another way, the beta 1 blockers are responsible for blocking a pathway that is called renin-angiotensin pathway. As we have already discussed, the renin released from the JG cell of the kidney, and there is forward mechanism that ultimately results in the release of aldosterone and increase the sodium and water retention in the blood. And in another way, by using the angiotensin second, it is directly responsible for vasoconstriction by increasing the TPR. So ultimately this pathway is responsible for elevating the BP. As we are using the antihypertensive mechanism through the beta 1 blocker, so because this JG cell is decorated with the beta 1 receptor, this JG cell is decorated with the beta 1 receptor, and once beta blockers we used and this beta blocker binds to this beta 1, blocks to this beta 1 receptor present on the JG cell, there will not be further release of renin. If the renin will not be released, the further forward mechanism will not be there. It means ultimately result elevation of BP will not be there, antihypertensive activity. Apart from these two mechanisms, we will talk about the various side effects of beta 1 blockers. Like if we talk about it is responsible for feeling of cold in the extremities. As we know, the beta 1 blockers are, if we talk about actually these side effects are not limited to the beta 1 specific beta 1 blocker only. These are covering beta 1 as well as beta 2. So like specific to beta 1 first I will talk, then we will discuss beta 2 as well. Beta 1 like excessive capacity, exercise capacity will be decreased because the cardiac output will decrease by using the beta blocker. Less stroke volume means less supply to the central nervous system, less energy supply to the central nervous system it means there will be less supply of energy to the nervous system, and if the body will feel less energy, तो आपकी exercise capacity will reduce. As I already discussed, by using the beta 1 blocker we are decreasing the level of calcium here. So in case of AV node there will be suppression of AV nodal conduction, AV block. If we talk about headache, weakness and fatigue, these three. So these three, as we have already make a beautiful concept that if the cardiac volume, or we can say the stroke volume will be less, then supply of the blood to the various body part will be less, and that also involves the central nervous system. If the central nervous system will get less amount of blood supply, it means there will be chances of weakness and fatigue. And in previous videos I have already discussed the mechanism how the less cardiac output is responsible for headache. So these three mechanism side effects. These three, bronchoconstriction, these two, bronchoconstriction and the feeling of cold, are actually mediated by, like this is made, this also we can relate to the beta 1 as well as beta 2. If we relate to this beta 1 feeling of cold into extremities, if we use beta blocker, it means there will be less beat, less force of contraction, less supply of blood through the aorta, cardiac output less, and less blood supply to the body extremities to the end part of the body, like at the end of toes, end of fingers. So if there will be less supply of the blood, it means there will be feeling of cold. If the supply of the end artery supply towards the end arterial system or the extremities of the body will be less, then there will be feeling of cold. एंड आपको जो मैकेनिज्म एक्सप्लेन करती है कि लेस सप्लाई की हम क्यों बात कर रहे हैं, क्योंकि हार्ट रेट स्लो हो रही है, कार्डियक आउटपुट कम हो रहा है. अगर हम बात करें, इसको रिलेट करें बीटा 2 से, तो बीटा 2 प्रेजेंट ऑन द ब्लड वेसल्स. ब्लड वेसल्स आर रिस्पॉन्सिबल फॉर वेसोडाइलेशन. वेसोडाइलेशन रिजल्ट्स इन लेस सप्लाई ऑफ ब्लड टू द फॉरवर्ड एरिया. फॉरवर्ड एरिया में लेस सप्लाई होगी तो आपकी एक्सट्रीमिटीज में आपको कोल्ड की फीलिंग होगी. इफ इट रिलेट टू दिस ब्रोंको कॉन्स्ट्रिक्शन, वी कैन नॉट रिलेट थ्रू द बीटा 1 बिकॉज इट इज डायरेक्टली रिलेटेड टू द बीटा 2, बिकॉज इन द पल्मोनरी सिस्टम इन द ब्रोंक्यूल्स आर डेकोरेटेड विद द बीटा 2 receptor. Once we will use the beta 2 sympathomimetic, like beta 2 analogs, they are responsible for dilating the bronchioles. It means they will work to make easiness of breathing. But if we use the beta 2 blockers, non-selective beta blockers, means they will block beta 1 as well as beta 2, then beta 2 blockers are responsible for constricting the beta 2. If the bronchioles are constricted, there will be chances of bronchoconstriction that will ultimately result in asthma. So this is all about the antihypertensive activity of beta blockers and the side effects. Thank you.